Hello everyone, in my previous video, 5 things Final Fantasy XIV absolutely nails, I highlighted some of the things that Final Fantasy XIV does best. I wanted to turn the tables now and take a look at 5 things that the game really needs to fix. Before I get started, let's be clear. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy XIV and the Final Fantasy series in general. I want the best for the game, and talking about these things I want changed or fixed doesn't mean I hate the game, it simply means I enjoy the game enough to play in spite of the things I don't like, and want the game to improve. Speaking of improving, only 2.7% of you are currently subscribed. A free and easy way to help support the channel and help it grow is to subscribe. So if you enjoy the content and want more, please consider doing so. So first off, dungeons. A common thing with this video moving forward is I don't dislike the entirety of a system, but rather a part of it. Dungeons to me are awesome, but there's a fatal flaw: level sync. Level sync is nice because it opens up the pool of players that you're able to interact with via Duty Finder. But a huge problem is I go from being level 90 to maybe level 20. All of my buttons are gone, I have no idea what my rotation is for that level, and I am more or less just pushing buttons of what I think may work best. This is not fun playing as a level 20 job when I am so used to what a level 90 job feels like. I think a good fix for this problem is level sync should work like reverse echo, so that your damage is equal to a level 20s, but you would still have all the abilities of a level 90. I don't see why this is impossible, but either way, I think this would be a huge fix for the game. Number 2, crafting inventory. One of the most annoying parts of crafting is you have to have the items on you in order to make them. Many other games implement systems where you can craft from storage as well. This would be a huge help. Having to search through your retainers for each and every item you need is literally a time sink. If you aren't doing a large amount of crafting, you probably wouldn't notice this, but for those of you who do a lot of crafting, this feels so bad. Again, I think an easy fix for this is to allow crafting from retainers, chocobo saddle, etc. Number 3, gearing alt jobs. With 21 combat jobs, it has become increasingly difficult to gear them. Granted, not everyone wants to gear all the jobs, but to even try and gear half of them would still take a long time. The problem is that there are weekly limits on gear earned from Savage tier bosses, and there are also a weekly cap on weekly tomes. There are 2 changes that need to be made in order to improve this system. The first is chests from Savage. If your luck isn't great, you could technically go 3 weeks before seeing your first piece of gear. And if it took that long to get the first piece, imagine gearing 21 jobs in this manner. The only fix I see for this is if you unlock a slot of gear for one job, it should be unlocked for all of your jobs. Truly, I doubt someone wants to repeat a boss fight over and over again just to gear their alts. Not saying they won't, I'm just saying I think they really don't want to. The second is tomes. Tomes could be fixed in a similar fashion where we are unlocking slots rather than pieces of gear for a specific job. Number 4, player migration. Since the ability to travel between data centers, I noticed something that perhaps you too have noticed. My data center is empty now. I literally cannot find a pickup group in my data center. This is crippling to the MMO gaming experience. Even if my static has to fill a member and we pick someone up, we have to go to Aether just to find a player. More or less, my experience now is if I want to do something, I have to go to Aether. I think data center travel is a good system, but a side effect of that beautiful drug is now everyone is converging into one data center. Some of you may say, well, just go to Aether and play. What's the problem? Well, there are a few drawbacks. Lack of access to retainers, no FC buffs or FCs, no access to link shells, and the list goes on. I'm not really sure how to fix this, but maybe there's a way to allow us to queue up cross data center. That would allow players to stay on their servers and data centers, but still be able to have an enjoyable gaming experience without shifting around data centers every time. Number 5, PvP, Crystalline Conflict. I think Crystalline Conflict is extremely fun, but there are some major problems with it. I ended up hitting a peak of Diamond 4 this last run, and I have hit Crystal tier in the past. But the first big issue is getting queues. If you try to find a ranked match past the first month of a new season, they are almost non-existent. They need to maybe further incentivize the prizes for playing or climbing throughout the season. I myself just can't put in enough man hours to climb within a 4-week span. The second issue is, I can't play with my friends in there. You are forced to random queue with 4 other people. I was so very disappointed to find out I can't do Crystalline Conflict with my wife, and for that reason she hasn't even tried it. I think allowing maybe 1 to 3 people to queue together would really increase some of the fun factor and maybe even help with getting some more people to play in general. Those are my top 5 problems with Final Fantasy XIV as of right now. Luckily, even with said issues, this is still my favorite game of all time, and I hope these things improve in the future. I also know there are a lot more issues out there that I didn't mention. What do you guys think? What issues do you feel need to be fixed in Final Fantasy XIV? Feel free to share in the comments below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so, and I will see you next time.